how I just recently thought about selling my 2016 Maserati Ghibli S after only less than 1 year of ownership. Now, it is December 31st, 2016. I'll probably post this on the New Year's Day of January 1st, 2017. I purchased the car in January 25th of 2016, so of this year. So it's not even 12 months yet. If you're new to the channel, this is my second Ghibli. I actually had a 2015 that I bought brand new as well, but I bought that at the very end of the year of 2014. My 2015 was a base Ghibli model, and that Ghibli had gave me some issues with the wastegate, and I was so keen in driving it. I really loved it, and Maserati was very good at working with me on fixing the issue because it was right out the gate when it was brand new. So I decided that I was gonna, work with them and keep the car, and they ended up paying for a whole month of my monthly payments just because it was in the shop more than it was in my hands for the first, I think 60 days, within the first amount of 60 days. So that was all taken care of. I had no issues with it since. And I got rid of it only to get the 2016 Ghibli S Zigna, as you can see with the Zigna interior package. And it was something that I really wanted after I saw it, so I ended up going with this. More horsepower, more tech, just all around better car than my base model I had. So I got this car, and I've had like little minor issues, nothing crazy. I've already done its first year service at 10,000 miles. I'm currently at 11,000, like just over 11,000 miles. But as most of you know, I had an issue with my rotors warping, and it was a problem that has been a problem with the car right off the gate because the first 5,000 miles my rotors were warped. So it's not something that happened down the line as far as maintenance, because when you get these cars, you pay to play when it comes down to it, when they get older, not when they're this young, shall I say. So this is not bashing anyone, especially at the Maserati Alfa Romeo dealership. No slander. This is not complaining. You guys are probably gonna eat me up in the comments saying I'm complaining and stuff like that. But I had an issue with the rotors, and the first 5,000 miles, Maserati kindly paid for new rotors for me. Got the parts, got the labor, got it all taken care of. And then, just recently, I warped my rotors again, or my rotors were warped. The reason why I know it wasn't my fault is because when they took it to the dealership, or when I took it to the dealership, they checked it out. They saw that it wasn't any wear on the rotors. They saw that, I wasn't abusing them or anything like that. And I was working with Maserati to try to get something taken care of. I wanted new rotors, of course, but I wanted to make sure I knew the source of the problem so it's not happening again, or we get it fixed. Unfortunately, after a couple of times of going back and forth with them, they said that, it's a wear and tear issue, even though they had proof that it wasn't me. It wasn't anything that, I was doing. So they declined, but they said, call customer service. The dealership told me, call customer service. We'll talk it out with them. You talk it out with them, let them know. So I did, Maserati North America, and my customer service rep was very nice about everything. So he told me, I'm gonna make a case for you, the dealership standing behind you, all that stuff. Like we understand that, this might not be a problem that's, about you, and maybe there's an issue with the car. So a day later, and I hear back from the rep, and he told me that Maserati has declined all further motions on replacing the parts or getting the car fixed. and that it's a wear and tear issue and they stand behind it. So I was wondering, because I talked to my tech, you know, at the dealership, and he said, you know, this doesn't happen to any other cars. My 2015, I never had this issue. So if I would have known that every 5,000 miles I was gonna have to pay $1,000 to replace something, you know, on top of doing service, and then later on in the car's life, other maintenance, like, you know, I kind of would have maybe rethought, you know, stuff like that. You know, it's not that you don't have the money to do stuff, is that you don't want to throw away the money. You know, people who have money these days, you know, there's that saying that millionaires stay millionaires because they don't spend their money. That's how you go broke, is if you just spend money just to throw it away, and you don't spend money like you're rich. And I'm not saying I'm rich by any means, far from it, but I just wanted to say that, you know, I can have the money to do something, but if this isn't my issue, or if I'm not the cause of the problem, why would I spend the money on it? You know what I mean? Saying, like, why is it, you know, something that I need to worry about if I'm not the cause of it? So they told me, you know, there's nothing we can do, we stand by it. And I explained to him, I was like, you know, he understood me, he heard me out. It's Maserati as the corporate saying, you know, even though we know that you didn't abuse it and there's no issues with what you're doing, or and things like that, that we still can't fix it. You know, we can't do anything for you. Every however many, if it keeps happening, you're just gonna have to keep replacing them. So it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth and rubbed me the wrong way. So I was like, damn, you know, I don't want to have to do that all the time. So I was like, should I get rid of the car? You know, and I don't want to. You guys know how much I love this car. You know, I love the Maserati Ghibli so much that I bought another one, just to upgrade its spec in a newer year. So I decided, you know, maybe I should start looking at other vehicles, you know, just something that's a little less hassle, and sit back, lay low on the exotic brand kind of world for a while. This was my introduction, you know, 2 years of it. Maybe I should just kind of lay back and, you know, down the line, see what happens, you know, because I'm trying to save money to buy a house. And, you know, I rent a house now, but I want to build one. And I was like, you know, if I'm going to be throwing money away into the car all the time, you know, in another 5 months, you know, who knows what will break in between that might be something on me, and this might not be something on me, you know. And I just wanted to see if Maserati would at least try to find out what the cause of the issue is. We'll take it into the dealership. They said, hey, we'll pay for the labor to figure out maybe if it's a caliper issue, if the rotors are, you know, or the calipers are sticking, you know, and riding the rotors, or what it might be, or something to, you know, to try to figure out what's wrong with this car. Is it a defective car, as far as the brakes go, you know. But they kind of said, no, you know, I mean, we're gonna stick by it. So then I hear back from the dealership a day later, and they said that Maserati decided to approve new rotors. They'll give me new rotors again. So this would be my third set of rotors within 11,000 miles. So you have to wonder, something's wrong, but I'm glad they decided to replace them. Good on them for that. Really cool, because at first they told me no. And like I said, I'll pay it, but I don't want to be throwing away money. If there's something wrong with the car, let's get down to the issue. I'll pay it, and then we'll know what's happening. But I don't want to invest money into it for it to happen again. So they're gonna invest their money into it again, and if it happens again within the next 5,000 miles like it has been, then that's something I'm gonna have to look at in the future and see if it's gonna be worth it for me. And this is not all Maserati Ghiblis. Like I said, my 2015 didn't have any kind of issues like this. So it's not all Maserati, so I'm not saying that, you know, don't get a Maserati Ghibli. I encourage it. You guys have seen my other videos. I love this car. It's amazing, you know, so it's a good driver experience and a good all-around daily. Get the car. Sometimes you'll run into issues like this. You have to be prepared. Don't get the car if you can only afford the car payment. I'll say that much. You know, always have money on the side. So I was ready to come out of pocket, and I was gonna say, you know, I'm gonna pay for it this time, and then if in 5 months it happens again, then I'm gonna possibly get rid of the car and sell it. But then I thought about it, I was like, well, do I really want to do that? You know, I don't know. So, you know, hopefully after we get this taken care of, I'll make a video, because this is what they said. We'll see what happens. You know, they're gonna give me new rotors. We'll see what happens. If it does happen, then I'm definitely gonna make a video, and hopefully you won't hear from me about the same issue come May of 2017 that, you know, we have a problem with the rotors again, because then I might have to look into, maybe one of you guys will like the car. But like I said, I love the car. I don't want to get rid of it. But if I did, what would you guys recommend in its place? I probably wouldn't go any higher as far as value goes. Like I said, I was looking at something like, I've never been in a Mercedes before. What are you guys' opinions on Mercedes? I would say a Giulia, but Giulias are so hard to get right now. They look awesome. I don't know if you guys have any opinions on Alfa Romeo. We just got our first one in, and we had the opening with the first Giulia in the dealership in May, and it's December, and they just got their first one in. So Giulias are hard to get. But what would you guys recommend in the place of this that kind of give me the same 4-door family sedan feel with the driver experience, but maybe not as much maintenance if I'm gonna have problems? So we'll see what happens. For now, I'm gonna enjoy the car. We'll get it all taken care of and see what I have left as far as the timeline for this. I want to keep it. I want to keep it. That's not what I'm saying. I almost thought about selling it. I was really close. But I want to keep it, and right now I'm going to keep it until something like that same issue happens again. Not if something else happens, because that's life. But if the same issue happens again, and you know, the car's not taken care of how it should be, or it's not troubleshot like it should be, then it's a different story. So that wraps this up. This will be posted on New Year's Day, so hope you guys had a good, safe New Year's. I'm out here in Daytona Beach. I'll be celebrating. If you see me, say what's up. I'll be out on Main Street and the pier watching the fireworks and everything. But you guys take a quick spin around the car. I was probably spun around the car like 18 times already. But Happy New Year, guys. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments. Also, let me know in the comments what you think. If I were to replace this car, I would replace it with. What do you think the issue is with the rotors? Any other kind of criticism you want to give me? And then always like and subscribe. Always helps get me up in the sub and recommendation box on YouTube, so you know, more people can see these videos and you know the daily experiences and troubleshooting of owning a Maserati Ghibli. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm enjoying looking at the car. I'm gonna enjoy driving it. Have a happy New Year's. We'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.